Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon Bear HD, and today we have week 5 of the competitive Showdown League, and we are coming off now 2 losses in a row, which is unfortunate, but that doesn't mean we can't bounce back here, and we are facing Majestic Swablu and her Chunichi Dragonairs. I'm not sure if we've battled before, but I know that everyone in this league is solid, and I've at least seen her battle a little bit, but I'm not super familiar with how she does, so definitely not too much familiarity on either side. But regardless, she has a very threatening team with Mega Banette, Deoxys Speed, Salamence, Togekiss, Suicune, Registeel, Komala, Rhyperior, Lilligant, Gallade, Regice, and Volcanion, with the Deoxys Speed, Salamence, and Suicune being the Z users, while our team is unchanged, being the Mega Lopunny, Celesteela, Tapu Fini, Nidoqueen, Serperior, Jolteon, Zoroark, Delphox, Lycanroc, Mesprit, Scyther, and Gastrodon, with the Lycanroc, Delphox, and Celesteela being the Z users. And this week, looking at this matchup, I decided that while I've been trying to get Lycanroc to be in the MVP, and it is solidly in first place, as of before this battle. I think it's 11-2, something like that, in the first 4 games. I did decide not to bring it because I see the Registeel, I see the Rhyperior, and I see the Gallade, which all 3 can provide issues to Lycanroc being potentially successful, especially in sweeping. And while I do get, coverage move and like Drill Run that would hit Rhyperior and Registeel, those are both very bulky that it still, can take it on. And then I know the Rhyperior can definitely OHKO me back, but the Registeel can do a ton of damage and make me less useful. So while I did want to bring Lycanroc because I thought it was good, but not great, and since I've been featuring it so much, I kind of figured that there might be a lot of prep to prevent Lycanroc from sweeping, since that's been like my main goal in every single battle. But we'll see about that. And then other than that, I think that Jolteon just kind of murders this team, because Rhyperior is the ground type, and then Lilligant being the grass type. I can cover both with Hidden Power Grass and Signal Beam, as you can see on screen. Otherwise, I'm just spamming electric moves, and I can Volt Switch all over the team, where I can just get strong T-Bolts. So that first Mon that I will go into is the Jolteon, being Choice Specs with enough speed to outspeed Salamence, because due to the speed tiers of this team, it's kind of funny where it goes. Deoxys Speed is faster than freaking everything, but then next is Salamence, so it's a huge gap that I can take advantage of, with a lot of my Mons being able to all run plus, attack or special attack natures. And so, one main abuser here is the Jolteon with the modest specs. It's just gonna destroy this team. Like, electric move hits pretty much everything, like I said. Then Rhyperior gets hit with Hidden Power Grass, and Lilligant gets hit with Signal Beam. So this should be awesome. Next up, we have the Gastrodon, being my switch into Volcanion, as well as helping me at least identify what the Suicune is if it comes. And just in general, being very bulky Mon, I put enough I tried to make it more mixed defensive, because while it would have been really nice to solely focus on the special defense for Volcanion and Suicune being major threats, it didn't really matter when I was calculating about, I'm gonna get 2 KO'd by grass moves, whether I'm a lot of Spadef or not. So I figured physical defense would definitely be useful to help deal with Ments and maybe deal with the Gallade, at least weakening it. Because, well, yes, it does get Leaf Blade if it's not running it, or, you know, if I still have the Rendo Berry, I can potentially Scald Burn it if the Misty Train is not up. So I just figured that physical defense might be nice, as well as, I forgot to mention Deoxys Speed. Definitely this is a switch in, since Deoxys Speed's pretty weak, although it can be, you know, most of the time, like, Modest or Adamant. But Gastrodon's super fat, so that's nice. Then next up we have the Mega Lopunny, which has enough speed to outspeed, again, the Salamence, and because of that I can run Adamant as well as quite a bit of HP investment. And so I've got the high jump kick, return, power punch, quick attack. I didn't see a point in putting Ice Punch because it return's gonna do a million anyway, and if it's, you know, if it's Scarfed, it's Scarfed, or if it's Dragon Dance up, then it doesn't really matter. So I don't think you Dragon Dance on the Lopunny anyway, and a return plus quick attack is going to do a lot regardless. So quick attack obviously helps me with Deoxys Speed, since that's going to outspeed pretty much my whole team anyway. And then just in general, if something is Scarfed, it obviously will be faster, so that's nice. And you know, normal fighting just is such good coverage normally that, you know, you only really need extra coverage if it's like a ×4 weak mon that just is super fat. Then next up we have finally bringing the Monarch franchise in Superior. It only took till week 5, but my favorite mon from last season that I haven't even brought until now is running Leaf Storm, Dragon Pulse, Leech Seed Synthesis with the Miracle Seed to boost the grass moves. I could have run, you know, maybe like Hidden Power Ice. However, it doesn't actually like make that much of a difference, because Leaf Storm with the Miracle Seed does just as much to like Togekiss, and so the only mons that it matters for, like Hidden Power Fire, also doesn't do much to Registeel compared to Leaf Storm. So Miracle Seed, Leaf Storm, as long as it's not quad resisted, that's the move I'm going for. So that means only Salamence, which I chose Dragon Pulse over the Hidden Power Ice purely because I think if it's running a berry, it's going to run Yachi, so I figured that Dragon Pulse might be able to get around it. And so then I'm just max HP with the rest in special attack and enough speed to outspeed that Salamence. Which, yeah, everything faster than Salamence is just going to outspeed Salamence. Except this is the more interesting set, in that I am actually full speed Scarfed Delphox, because actually it does outspeed Deoxys Speed. That's purely the only reason that it is Scarfed and it is max speed, because it outspeeds the Deoxys Speed, and actually if the, you know, Deoxys Speed is not Scarfed, then I outspeed everything on the team, no matter if they're Scarfed. Like, at least, you know, unless they're gonna set up. So that's very nice that I know for sure this outspeeds everything. So that means I only really have to worry about priority, or just, you know, being able to 2-hit KO things, or whatever it may be. And regardless, Fire Blast, Psychic Grass Knot covers the team really well. And then Switcheroo is just nice for the fat things, so, I mean, mainly Suicune, since I can, you know, I can hit the Registeel on the Rhyperior, but if anything becomes a nuisance, and the Deoxys Speed is gone, then I can just get rid of the Scarf and use Delphox just for the sake of it being very good against this team and outspeeding everything naturally anyway. So this should help me, you know, just make sure I win in the end game. And I don't think Salamence will get up to +2, so that definitely should help me beat that. And then lastly, the thing that definitely should help me beat Salamence is my Tapu Fini, which has enough speed to outspeed Gallade, and Windblast Surf hits, you know, everything neutrally or super effective other than the Volcanion. So I also have Nature's Madness, which just, you know, for the fast stuff anyway, it's just nice. And then Taunt is just solid against, like, it, shuts down Suicune from setting up, and also the Misty Search prevents it from resting, so this does beat the Suicune, it does beat the Salamence, barring, like a Supersonic Sky Strike or something like that. That would definitely, could be a threat, so I'll have to, that's why I wanted the Gastrodon to also be prepared to potentially take on the Salamence, so that's why that has Ice Beam and Defense Investment. So definitely this is what I want to beat the Salamence. However, I do have to scout out the Salamence set first to really make sure I know what to switch in on it. So I think this is a solid team. It does break my heart to not bring Lycanroc, but I'm afraid of the too much counter prep on Lycanroc, since it's so, I've been like so obvious about trying to make it get a bunch of kills. So I will be right back with team preview. And we are back with team preview as my opponent has decided to bring the Gallade, the Togekiss, Suicune, Salamence, Deoxys Speed, and Volcanion. So I'm kicking myself for not bringing Lycanroc, because Lycanroc dominates this team, and I think actually potentially with a Swords Dance and the Z move, I could easily, I just have to find out what's Scarfed, and potentially maybe get rid of the Deoxys Speed, and it just wins. And so that, so unfortunate that I didn't bring it this time, but regardless, I do think I still have a solid team, being that Jolteon just clicks electric moves, because didn't bring either the immunity or the resist, so Jolteon's amazing. And just in general, I think the Delphox should really do well, because it's Scarfed, and so it's going to outspeed everything. And I really highly doubt that a Deoxys Speed is going to be Scarfed. So I'm going to lead off with the Jolteon, because, like I said, no electric resist, and she leads off with the Deoxys Speed to get up her rocks, as I just go for the Volt Switch in case of a switch, but obviously it's super fast, and I go into my Serperior because I know I can take any one hit from this, so I get off the Leaf Storm as she goes for the Psycho Boost just to get damage off, which would have been nice to synthesis, but oh well, not a big deal. Then goes into Salamence, and that screams Scarf, because at least if I was like max attack, then Dragon Pulse should be able to kill. However, since I'm not, it actually doesn't kill. Serperior is weak, but I actually don't want this to set up or anything like that. And if I do Dragon Pulse on a DD, yes, it's gonna outspeed me the next turn, but Quick Attack should be able to kill it after, so it's not a big threat. And then I have an obvious switch in the Tapu Fini, so I want to say that if it is Scarfed, it might just go for a move that doesn't even KO me. So I think either way, just finding out the information of whether it's Scarfed or what set it is more valuable than keeping the Serperior around, although it's very good. And she actually goes for Fire Fang, which I get it that it's probably one of the only things that kills, but I think my Tapu Fini switch was so obvious, or even just my switch into Gastrodon, that I don't think that was the best play. But regardless, it gets rid of my Serperior, so it's now +1, but it's not a threat when it's Scarf. So that's just good to know. If it's Scarfed in a Fire Fang, that's not a threat. So I can just go into my I can go into the Tapu Fini and just throw off an Ancient Madness, because obviously you're not staying in. And she goes into the Togekiss, which is totally fine, because I can actually just make the offensive switch into Jolteon. Like, I don't want this to nasty plot or anything like that. And like I said, no electric resist, so I can just throw off Thunderbolt, honestly, and it just KOs. So that's amazing. Jolteon outspeeds everything barring this, so brings it in, has to go for most likely EQ to even kill me, since Dragon Move wouldn't do much. and obviously I have Tapu Fini in the back, so I can just safely go into my Gastrodon, as I can just then recover up as she goes into the Gallade, potentially being, you know, Assault Vest or maybe even Lumberry, because I'm just going to go for the Scald. As I get a crit, it does nothing, so it's definitely Assault Vest. And so I'm okay with just actually having this Gastrodon go down, because I think that weakening the Gallade was more important. And so now I can go into Mega Lopunny and just knock it out 100% of the time with return. And I'm in, I think, a solid position, because there's still no, like, that was probably the thing that would take the Thunderbolts the best on this team. So Jolteon's now freed up, which she goes into Suicune, so I'm not sure what she wants to do, but I have some HP investment, so I'm not really worried. I can make the offensive switch again into Jolteon, and I can just Thunderbolt. I get the crit on the sub, and then obviously doesn't matter, as she misplays here and goes for the Calm Mind, because I can just Thunderbolt and still, you know, 2-hit KO it easily. And she gets off the +1 Scald. So actually, no. Actually, it's not a misplay. What am I talking about? Gets off the +1 Scald rather than just a regular Scald. So, I'm dumb. But I got the para, but thankfully she didn't get fully parried. So then this allows her to just go right back into the Salamence once again, and can just EQ freely. And this gives me my Tapu Fini, as I can then just go for Nature's Madness. I know you're not staying in, but I miss, which that is important, because at half health, then Lopunny can come in and just knock it out at half health. And I think, you know, depending on the set, Psychic from Delphox can kill it, and obviously Jolteon can, you know, kill it from any range. So that's definitely unfortunate, but you know, it's not going to necessarily lose me the game in this case. While, you know, I'm up 4-2, I can still lose, and that does definitely help, but, you know, doesn't ensure it by any means. And I think, you know, even if I hit it, it doesn't ensure that I win. However, it makes it a very easy endgame, I'd say. So I can then switch into my Lopunny here, since I am pretty bulky. You know, I might die to something, but I actually live, and it's actually banded Earthquake. So I just go for return to get damage off, as she just, you know, goes for the Earthquake again. And so now I can just go into my Jolteon, since I don't know that the Delphox will kill it. And so I just Volt Switch to try to get myself into a more favorable position here. And so I go into my Delphox, since it obviously outspeeds, and I get the Psychic off. Crit does not matter. And then now in comes the Volcanion. I Psychic. It does not kill, but, you know, it doesn't matter what she does at this point. It can't, you know, like Flame Charge up and outspeed my team. So gonna knock me out with the Earthquake, and I can just go into Jolteon and kill it. So the Nature's Madness miss, it did suck, but, you know, all it realistically did was just cost me maybe 1 differential at most. So, you know, I would say that I probably would win 3-0 if I had hit the Nature's Madness, but if I, you know, without it, I win 2-0. But regardless, you know, we get the win. That's the most important thing. And so I'm, you know, just happy to be back on the winning side after losing 2 in a row. So hopefully we can continue that, and hopefully, you know, get into a playoff spot, because I think even with this win, I'm not in a playoff spot yet at 3-2. I think only +2 because of this matchup. So definitely not where I want to be through 5 games, but I think we can continue to win and hopefully make sure that Lycanroc is the MVP. Thank you for watching. Bye!